The Story of Bo. Bailey Oberpriller was born the only son of two farmers in the small town of Carlsville, Wisconsin. His mother was named Kennedy, and his father James. They minded their own business on the outskirts of the community, where they focused on raising their son and teaching him how to care for the land as they did. Most was normal in his adolescence. He never spoke to other children much. The quiet of the farm seemed more comforting than anything conversation could provide. Here Bo could be himself. He would work until dusk, just before curfew. It was a peaceful life. Farming equipment malfunctioned, it was said. It could have killed him. Instead, it just left him scarred and unable to express like he used to. His parents were caring. He wasn't able to help on the farm for a good while after that, so they took it on themselves. But he was always worried that they blamed him, because he couldn't remember their names or their faces, because it took him so long to string on a sentence. Entire chunks of his history vanished, and he couldn't tell you what happened to his parents. Just that one night, they never came back. But Bo continued on. He took care of himself and went years without speaking to much of anyone. He was a part of Carlsville and invisible all at once. One day a young girl came to his farm. She was also raised in town, but Bo never remembered meeting her. She said her name was Aubrey, and she told him of a world that he never could have imagined. The child warned him that there were beasts hiding in the corn, that they had killed her brother, and that Bo was in danger too. He didn't understand completely, but he knew he wanted to help. So she let him. The group was called Cardians, and through it Bo met people that would mean the world. He would gain his suit, his rank. It was easy to tell that Bo was not much of a speaker, so he was no heart. Not terribly much of a thinker in the traditional sense, so not a spade. And though his fighting prowess was notable, it did not compare to his amazing craftsmanship, and so he became a diamond. He had a purpose, a reason to exist in the community, though he never spoke to many others outside of the Cardians. Bo stayed distant, and he used this time to patrol the fields. His detachment helped keep the strangers from the corn, and from harm. He'd only been hurt by the beasts once. At all other times they seemed to avoid him. He would hear them go in circles, hear them go through the corn, and he would fight them when needed. But they always seemed to avoid him, and Bo never truly understood why. Change came in many ways for the diamond. Friends were lost, tears shed, memories gained and shared. He never really liked change. In fact, he hated it. But he didn't hate them, the people who brought it. Though they did scare Bo. Aubrey had asked that he would protect them, and he listened. All the members mattered, but some stood out more than others. Natalie Cole, who he met by chance at the borders of the hedge, at the right place and the right time. Theo. Bo had never cared for someone quite like he did Theodore. It was strange and terrifying, but also fantastic and beautiful. He could never express in words why Theodore mattered, just that he did, and Bo would do anything to protect him. And Aubrey. She drifted away from everyone, from where she had used to be so friendly, where she used to visit. He'd remember her coming to the farm before the passing of Sarah. After that, he withdrew from most communications, except for orders. A part of him thinks that Aubrey did too, but it turned out it was much more than that. Bo wasn't alone in his grieving this time, but that didn't stop the nightmares. Dreams of another world, of a child, of snow, of blood. Bo found himself meeting people he'd never met when he slept. He couldn't understand. He began seeing things he'd never seen before. and with Aubrey and her spell gone, Bo began to remember. He's begun to remember how he got here. He was used, lied to. These memories, his whole life, there's a chance that it just wasn't real. He was a being of two lives, two worlds, one that mourns the loss of his friends and is deeply confused and afraid by this new life, and the other, who sees in anger for what had been done to him, and now wants revenge for being taken from his home. But they are the same person, and the further Bo runs, the more he is remembering who he was.